Mr. Adams was always a peculiar old man in our neighborhood. He never acted his age, and us kids loved that about him, as he would often play with us every chance he got. Of course, our parents often looked down on him and thought it was strange that a man his age would spend so much time with young children. I think that he may have been mentally challenged, but my memories of him are cloudy as he died many years ago. It was his love for all things sweet that gave him the nickname, the Candyman. Every day before he would say his goodbyes, he would give all of us a piece of chocolate or some malt balls, but his all-time favorite were grape-flavored lollipops. I don't know why, but he couldn't get enough of those, and he would always have 2 or 3 of them in his pocket at all times. If he really liked you, then he would let you have one, but only if you were truly his friend, and of course, that took some serious doing. He was one of my closest friends growing up. The last time I saw him, I was surprised to feel something being put in my pocket as I was leaving, and was surprised to find a grape lollipop. The Candyman smiled and waved goodbye as I walked away. His death is one of the most tragic and begins when a girl turned up missing. The whole town got involved and the police went door to door looking for her. Her father pinned the blame on our beloved Candyman, and instead of going to the police, he decided to take matters into his own hands. He got a couple of his friends and went out to his house. They broke down his door and beat him to death with baseball bats and whatever else they could find. The girl was found hours earlier at the local carnival, which she had neglected to tell her parents about. Her father and his accomplices were found guilty of murder and sent to prison. The kids of the neighborhood went to the service, and we all wept. We would leave bundles of grape lollipops on his grave on the anniversary of his death every year, and continued that tradition until we graduated high school and left for college. Friends fell out of touch and time went on, but we never forgot about him. Years passed and I landed a job as an architect for a big firm downtown, and before I left I decided to make one last stop at the Candyman's house to say my final goodbye. I pulled in front of the house and looked upon a dilapidated farmhouse crumbling after years of neglect. The windows were broken and the paint was peeling off the walls. The door had been ripped off the hinges and tossed to the ground. Graffiti adorned the walls, saying things like queer and pedo. Tears filled my eyes as I walked through the trashed residence. How could anybody have done this to such a nice person? I found an old chair in the corner of his living room and took a chocolate bar out of my pocket and placed it there. I thanked him for being a friend to me, and that because of him, I had one of the best childhoods a kid could ask for. Wiping a tear from my eye, I began to walk out of the house. When I stepped off the front porch, I felt something being put in my pocket. I reached into it and pulled out a grape lollipop.